We are reading Bhagwat Geeta as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are in chapter 10, text 15. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. This is still Arjun telling to Sri Krishna. Let's read the purport. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of the devotional service like Arjun and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagwat Gita. Bhagwat Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. Yes. The Supreme Truth is realized in three aspects as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, at the last stage of understanding this absolute truth, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A common man, or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, may not understand God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagwan or they accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottam, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjun addresses him as Purushottam. Yet one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjun addresses him as Bhuta Bhavna. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhuteshu. No, Bhutesha. Bhutesha. Sorry. Bhutesha. Okay. So therefore he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Deva Deva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful god of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjun, and we should follow in the footstep of Arjun to understand Krishna as he is. Please tell me in detail. Let's move to text 16. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Let's read the purport. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have. And though all these agencies He has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalists in particular concern themselves mainly with the all pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjun is asking Krishna how he exists in his all pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjun on behalf of the common people. Let's read text 17. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let's read the purport. As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yog Maya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now Arjun is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general process by which the all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Common men, including the demons and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yogmaya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjun for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. So Arjun, out of his mercy, because he is a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for the common man the understanding of the all pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. He addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin because Sri Krishna is the master of the Yog Maya energy by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjun is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic persons of this world. The verse Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu refer to material nature. The word bhav means physical things. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. Let's move to text 18. O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Let's read the purport. A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by the rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka. That statement is, I'm reading in English, one can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.19. Thus, Arjun is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as the all pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amritam or nectar is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar, and this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. In that one, why, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of incarnations of Godhead. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate to the pastimes of various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. Let's move to text 19. Now Sri Krishna is going to say, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjun, for my opulence is limitless. Let's read the purport. It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyataha means principle is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all. And vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amara Kosha dictionary, it is stated that vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord nor the manifestations of his divine energies. Both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now, Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, part of his very variegated energy is described in this way. Let's go to text 20. I am the super soul, O Arjun, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Let's read the purport. In this verse, Arjun is addressed as Guna Keshav, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in the material, sorry guys, in the material and spiritual world. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjun is significant because Arjun is above such darkness. The personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjun that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnation and from him everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahat Tattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, the Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva, the total material energy. So, Mahatattva is called total material energy, and in that, Mahavishnu enters. He is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as a supreme soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless Supreme Soul, that is Krishna, enters. Sorry. As stated in the Shobhala Upanishad, Prakriti Adi Sarva Bhutantar Yami Sarva Sheshi Cha Narayanaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as the Super Soul in all manifested universes. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described as the Satvata Tantra. Vishnu's Tu Traini, Traini, Rupani, Purusha, नहीं, हाँ, Purushakyani, Atho, Viduha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features: a da, Karanodakashayi Vishnu, Karanodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and Shirodakashayi Vishnu. In this material manifestation, three types of Vishnu. The Mahavishnu, which is Karanodakashayi Vishnu, is described in the Brahma Samhita 5.47. Ya Karanarnava Jale Bhajati Sma Yog Nidram. The Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. Okay. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universal manifestation, and the end of all energy. Okay. So, what we have with us is Mahavishnu, that is Karanodakashayi Vishnu. That's what I understood. Let's move to text 21. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Maraichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Let's read the purport. There are 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal. Among all the luminaries shining in the sky, the sun is the chief, and in the Brahma Samhita, the sun is accepted as the glowing eye of the Supreme Lord. There are 50 varieties of wind blowing in space, and of these winds, the controlling deity, that is Maraichi, represents Krishna. Among the stars, the moon is the most prominent at night, and thus the moon represents Krishna. It appears from this verse that the moon is one of the stars. Therefore, the stars that twinkle in the sky also reflect the light of the sun. The theory that there are many suns within the universe is not accepted by Vedic literature. The sun is one, and as by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates, so also do the stars. Since Bhagwat Gita indicates herein that the moon is one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns but are similar to the moon. Let's move to text 22. Of the Vedas, I am the Samved. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in the living beings, I am the living force, which is consciousness. Let's read the purport. The difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. Let's move to text 23. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. Let's read the purport. There are 11 Rudras, of whom Shankara, Lord Shiv, is predominant. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. The leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kuvera, the master treasurer of the demigods, and he is a representation of Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. Let's move to text 24. Of priest, O Arjun, know me to be the chief Brahaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Let's read the purport. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indralok. Brahaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is chief of all kings, Brahaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly Skand or Kartikeya, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders. And of all bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only gives hints of his greatness. Let's move to text 25. It's a small one. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Let's read the purport. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several suns for propagation of various kinds of species. Among these suns, Bhrigu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, Om or Omkara represents Krishna. Of all sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It is the simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the world is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountains in the world, also represent him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in the previous verse but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. The Himalayas are greater than Meru. Let's move to text 26. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narad. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha, Chitraratha, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Let's read the purport. The banyan tree, Ashwatha, is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Amongst the demigods, they also worship Narad, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharv planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chitraratha. Amongst the perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is the representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Later on, another Kapila becomes famous, but his philosophy was atheistic. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between them. Okay, let's end here with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's do some Radha job. Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha.